What they gonna do with him, man? That's a
What's
whole.
up? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing, man? You hear my boy K. Lou over there talking, cause we on sideline to baseline with your boy MB and K. Lou.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, we got my man Double A, baby, holding it down on the west side. All right, west side of Florida, that means, right? And then, we got Dark Vader Luke. I feel the force. Always darkest before Deshaun. The force is with us, baby. Hey, my man holding it down. What's up, Jason? How you doing, baby?
How's it going?
Yeah, hey, man, can you explain what's up with the name, baby? It was run CDC, I guess, or what's going on now?
CMC.
Now you always, yeah. So
But,
now what you got going on, baby?
It was weird, a little coinciding. We ran out of Run CMC, and coincidentally, kind of ran out a little bit of Darnold. So it's always darkest before Deshaun, just ready for him to come home and save the day.
So you're saying that they're about to make a trade, huh? That's your prediction, huh? You sound like K. Lou holding it down. We've been talking about him the all season as far as where he's going to end up. So you think Carolina, that'll be a nice spot.
He'll be sponsored by Massage Envy around here. It don't matter. Just get on the field and play.
No doubt. Hey, another 5-star player holding it down, huh?
There you go.
So you think Carolina, huh? Well, K-Lou, you got any predictions on that?
Outside
I think maybe the Dolphins, baby.
Yeah, I was surprised. You said he's from Gainesville. I never realized that. How did he get out of the state of Florida to begin with?
No, Gainesville, Georgia.
Oh,
yeah.
I only know one Gainesville.
Yeah, Gainesville, Georgia.
It's the better Gainesville.
That's not a hard statement to make.
Same amount of gunshots.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Same amount of gunshots.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Caleb, where you think he'll end up at, man? You still holding that he's gonna get traded before this stuff get cleared up?
Yes, I still think that it'll happen. I think NFL teams are all the same. They get desperate as those L's start stacking up, and those jobs start being, those owners start, having those meetings during the season. So that's gonna happen. I don't know where he'll end up, but he's going somewhere. He's gonna play too.
He's too good not to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still holding out. The fact nothing gonna happen till this stuff get cleared up. I think it's a collusion. They're like, no, he's off limits until this stuff get cleared up.
Yeah, and MB, I will say you have a point there only because the NFL and Roger Goodell is kind of, I don't get him because he still hasn't made a move on him. But as soon as when a team does something, he could show up and be like, "Hey, he can't play. We're suspending him." I'm like, "What? Like you had this whole time to do it."
Well, yeah, it's a gamble either way, and I think that the second there's a shot his value would go down, that means his price is going to go down, which means another team is going to look at it like, if all we're risking is a third, I don't think we'll ever get beneath the third-round pick, no matter what. But if a third-round pick gets us the rights to a mate, worth it. You know what I mean? And from a commissioner standpoint, why force your hand? Because I'm sure in his mind he's thinking, well, any decision I make now might cast judgment before he's had his day in court, so to speak. So I understand them not doing something because if they discipline him now, it looks like he's guilty, and he hasn't really had a chance for everything to run its course. So it's going to take a press release in either direction, I think. I think if nothing happens, he won't go anywhere. It's going to take his value or his price changing for something to happen. But I think Houston knows he ain't coming back. So it's going to have to be his price goes up or his price goes down. If it's just silence, nothing's going to happen.
Wow. Yeah. Shoot, Houston right now, based on what they did against or didn't do against New England, didn't do this season, especially injury at quarterback, they need him to play right now.
And they look good at first.
That kid almost pulled it off.
But still, man, Deshaun is a whole different level, whole different level. So I don't know. I'm holding to what I thought in the beginning that he's gonna be untouchable until this stuff clears up. But speaking of untouchable,
I think there's an unspoken rule, and I think regardless if Godell hasn't said anything publicly, I think privately there's an understanding right now.
Yeah,
wouldn't that violate the NFLPA though?
That ain't stopped them.
NFLPA ain't doing that.
But you know what I mean, though. Like, I'm not. Of course, I agree. AA. I think that's exactly what's happening. But I think that wouldn't that violate the NFLPA? Some sort of underhanded. Hey, y'all can't do anything.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was like the secret blackball.
They've done it before.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They've done it before in the sense of, I recall, as far as free agency and stuff. As far as trying to keep the price of certain players down, I think somebody accused them of that. I think it was a receiver, somebody.
AB, Antonio Brown.
Was it him? It was somebody, and he was complaining about
New England signed him. Yeah. Right before New England signed him, he was alleging that back behind the scenes blackball he was claiming to be getting because
it was somebody
had done something and but Deshaun's got such a high character rating prior to these issues. Like, I wonder if that'll have any effect.
No,
bro, I don't know. Too many. When you got over 27 women accusing that came out.
That's a big sample size.
Hey, you sound like the COVID case.
But how many of them got debunked already? Remember those texts? I mean, so many of them, it's came out that they texted him apologizing to him. So that kind of hurts that. And that attorney's a little slimy. I mean, I know I'm a little geared towards Deshaun, but, it truly seems to me like it's the whole thing's like a little slimy, right? I mean, the kid's never had an ill word spoken about him his whole life. About it, you know what I mean? So it seems weird that some of his very accusers texted him apologizing to him before it came out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know we're not trying the case, but
did they pull the lawsuit though? Did they apologize and pull that lawsuit?
They pulled that lawsuit.
Hey, you start putting some zeros in there, I'm gonna say he did it. All right. Hey, me too.
Well, talking about he's a did it, man. Talking about untouchables, baby. We got our segment. He's a problem. All right, identify some ballers from this weekend, man. And since we're talking about the NFL, let's just start with the NFL. And I'm going with the man, the AKA the GOAT, Tom. I found the fountain of youth, Brady, 30 for 41 on 411 yards, 5 touches, right? 5 touches for a completion ratio of 73% against my Dolphins, or like my uncles say when he lose money on them, those mullets. All right, leading the Buccaneers to 45-17, man, over my Miami Mullets. I don't know what's up with that defense, man, but Tom Brady, man, found the fountain. You had a 144 QBR rating, man, getting it done. Hey, not only was he a problem for the Dolphins, but he's still a problem. He's a problem. He found some NFL Viagra for playing. Something happened. I don't know what's going on, but he getting it done, baby. Tom Brady for you.
It's those stem cells.
Hey, if you look at his player picture, it looks like he found the fountain of Abercrombie and Fitch. Have you seen it? It's like scanned and surfered up. Like, it don't look like Tom Brady. That looks like Chad Brady. Look at his NFL picture. I ain't kidding. It's ridiculous.
He made a deal with somebody.
Who you got, AA, man? Who you got? Who's the problem?
I got to go with, and the guy's been on fire all year, but Justin Herbert, Bobby Hebert's lost son. He threw for almost 398 yards, 4 touchdowns against Cleveland. He's done it against Kansas City. Anybody he's played, he's putting up numbers. He's a real problem, and I think he's going to be a problem in this league for a long time to come, it looks like.
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely a problem. And the Chargers, they're a problem. Good Lord. They're a problem for the AFC West and Kansas City Chiefs, man. Dark sides, Dark Vader, baby. What you got?
Hey, let K-Lou do his right quick because I got to grab mine. Let him do his.
Okay.
I don't have him.
You'll make one.
You go again, MB.
Huh? I text
Go
you.
again.
You get the text?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. All right, here's the problem. Hey, we're going out on who we got, man.
Hey,
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
What? 11 catches, 206 yards, 1 touch, right? Getting it done for the Green Bay Packers, man, as they squeeze by the Cincinnati Bengals 25-22, holding it down, man. Devontae Adams, hey, that dude always a problem, man. He shows up, man, and especially when you got Aaron Rodgers throwing you the ball. He's a problem. What's going on? Ray Charles.
Hold on. My problem is, where's the holding in NFL anymore? Did y'all watch this weekend's games? Every one of the final drives in the Green Bay Cincinnati game, holding on the center, holding on the guard, doesn't exist because it's overtime. Like they're trying to get to the house, like they got reservations at IHOP. That's my problem. That is my problem. That too often in this league, the smaller market team does not get the calls. I've been talking to K. Lou about this for years. You ain't never seen the Tennessee Titans on that end of a controversy or the tuck rule. So that's my problem is we need some consistency on the referees in crunch time. Holding is holding. It don't matter if it's overtime or the first quarter. That's my problem.
So you saying it's a point shaving going on, huh?
The same teams always get the benefit of those calls, man. Aaron Rodgers is going to get a rough in the passer only if they're down. Like it don't matter. It was the entire last 10 minutes of that game. Like Mason Crosby kept missing field goals because of karma. Like they wouldn't have been there anyway. Like that pass to Randall Cobb, they mugged the defensive end for Cincinnati. They might as well. They probably stabbed him at the bottom. Like I don't know what. It was the worst thing I'd ever seen. And the week before, I didn't want to seem like a homer, but Dallas got away with murder, holding almost every down. When Zeke would run, that guard would pull. They were face masking a few times. So the smaller market teams need to start complaining and start getting some calls because you ain't ever gonna see the Cleveland Browns get on that end of it. I'll tell you that right now.
You have to check. You have to check those refs' DraftKings and FanDuel accounts. You never know.
Oh yeah, an NBA situation.
Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you one game, man, where it seemed like no holding was going on because it was all offense going on, man. That Red River shootout, man. That Oklahoma, Texas, good Lord, 55-48. And, man, it was so many candidates in that game. I was like watching that game. He's a problem. He's a problem. He's a problem. I mean, Lincoln Ryan, he's a problem. He made a switch with the quarterback. Then you got a receiver from Texas. You got the running back, the quarterback from Texas, man, getting it done. But who I went with, the running back, man, Oklahoma Sooners, Kennedy Brooks, number 26, 25 carries, 217 yards, 2 touches, game-winning touchdown, calling the play again, came back with the play to house that thing, man. Hey, getting it done, man, leading the Oklahoma Sooners to a comeback victory over the Texas Longhorns. Kennedy Brooks, number 26, running back, he's a problem.
That was one hell of a way to start a Saturday because it only got it better as the day went on. And
you got to feel for Texas. They had it. They had it. Like, man, that could have been, their little bit of a turning point. You know what I mean? Like, they finally had a shot to knock off. Because the one that they won a couple years back, I don't think Oklahoma really made it that year. You know what I mean? So, like, here was their shot to knock off Oklahoma when Oklahoma, was on one of their on years. And to see it completely slip through, man, that's rough. That's got to be rough for a Texas fan base.
Texas A&M saved the state later on that night.
Oh yeah,
that's mine. That's my. He's a problem. Jimbo Fisher, babyface. That man exfoliates. Let me tell you. Have you ever noticed that is? Woo, yeah. That dude's got like a VIP card at Ulta. All right, whatever he's doing, it works because that. Do you see the way they were blitzing? And they just couldn't figure it out, but it was the same blitz, just flipped every time. Like, they were just hitting R2 on the controller, and Nick Saban couldn't figure it out. I love that.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with that. Jimbo definitely was a problem. I was the first assistant coach to beat Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
First.
25 games.
Yeah, 25 games, man. Getting it done, man.
Where was he, the assistant? I don't even remember where he was.
LSU.
Was it Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator at LSU when Nick was at LSU.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator, so he's getting it done. But that was a crazy game. That quarterback was playing lights out too. I mean, I think heading to the game, he was like at the bottom of the SEC in quarterback ratings. You know, but after that, I mean, doing that game, that Joker was on fire, man, getting it done.
It was a movie. It was a movie script. He went in under the tent, got rolled up on the knee, came back out and threw a perfect
Jimbo went
ball to the corner.
Hey, Jimbo went in the tent with him, man. He must rub something on him. It felt like the water boy, man. Gave him some Bobby Boucher or something, man. What's going on in that tent, man?
Hey,
Lou, are you surprised about this? Well, I don't want to know if you call it success, but are you surprised that, I mean, obviously Jimbo was at Florida State holding it down, but what's your thoughts on him moving to A&M and how well he's doing there overall? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, think about it. It's always been recruiting for Jimbo, and he seems to be able to string together a couple classes, and then he falls off a cliff. So that has been his MO, obviously at Florida State, and he got out of town by the time, they started to fall off the cliff. Yeah. But he was able to string together enough recruiting to get him a natty with Jameis Winston and the old lineman that played receiver at Carolina.
Yeah, he saw them 3 stars coming in, and he put that house on Zillow real quick.
Right. But if you look at Jimbo, I don't think anybody, whether you loved him or hated him, has ever second guessed his play calling abilities and his ability to put defenses in bad positions. And he's been able to do that at Florida State. He's able to do that at LSU under Nick Saban, So he's always been able to do that. So I don't think that shocked us. I think what Jason said shocked us most. And Jason, let me say you were right some of the time, but they actually just physically kicked Alabama's butt up front. They didn't blitz all the time either. So, I mean, that's the second game we've seen Alabama not be able to just flex their physical dominance on the team. And I think that was really the tail of the tape. I think it's given everybody else. Florida gave everybody else confidence. Let's just face it. No doubt. Florida don't play them the way they do. Texas A&M don't win that game. Yeah. But Florida set the tone for everybody else. I think Alabama's going to be in a couple more dogfights for the rest, throughout this season. And I think it's because teams understand, man, we can play with them physically. And I hate to say this because it's a double-edged sword. Nick Saban had to morph to this, or he would have lost to Florida last year with a finesse team. Okay. But the fact that he's kind of moved away, under Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, from being just like, hey, we about to line up and we about to move these chains. Mm-hmm. It's actually helping other teams
more possessions,
just as physical as they are.
Mm-hmm. Would you say so? What my takeaway was, it seemed like Jimbo knew when to pull a guard, because it seemed like a lot of Alabama's defensive linemen would get free, but the play wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? It would be a bootleg or be a run the other way. And
that's play calls, Jason.
That's what I'm saying.
For real. That's and MB will tell you, being able to call plays, it's a feel a lot of times more so than it's even preparation. Obviously, preparation got you to that point, but now you're like, oh, I know what he's doing next. Mm-hmm. So now you're playing off of the feel and not necessarily and so that's what you were seeing, Jason. You were seeing, that screenplay they ran right at the perfect time. And you're like, man, he knew it was coming. Yeah, he knew it was coming because on third down, those 3 times before, he saw what he was doing. So now, I know what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna run this play too. And again, whether you love or hate Jimbo, that's what you getting out of him, man. That's every week.
The times that we would play him would be so frustrating. Even if you remember, we had a little 2 seasons in a row series with A&M, coincidentally, when Jimbo went there with Clemson. And those years, obviously, Clemson was Clemson. And so they were outmatched at every position. Both games were close because he just – it's like he knew. And it was so annoying. And it's hard to know Brent Venables. You know what I mean? He'll switch it up, but he knew it, and it would make every game close.
Don't discount that Alabama exhaled after that block punt, because that kick return that came right after that had to have shocked that team, no matter how old you are or who you think you are. Because when you're fighting uphill, playing from behind all night, that took a lot for them to get back to a tie game, basically.
And whoever that kid was, that was a 5-star. Look him up.
Oh, the kickoff return?
That was some speed. I mean, it looked like an Alabama player, and they were on the field with someone else. You know what I mean? I mean, that kid was gone.
I'm just surprised to see kick returns anymore. Everything's a fair catch and to the end zone. So when it happens, like, whoa, I forgot that this is part of the game.
You can do that. Right. You thought it was illegal. You was ready to throw a flag, huh, Double A? Man, what are you doing? Throw that flag.
And I bet you that Alabama kickoff coverage team, they probably coasted down there if you go back and look at it. They block punt. We're about to go get the ball back again, and that's it.
Right.
This game's over.
Special teams brought them in it, took them right back out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying about Jimbo. He's definitely, he's an outstanding play caller, man, and knows. And I think also the familiarity with the whole scheme of what Alabama does also had a part to do it as well, as far as how to attack it. Because the one route, the touchdown, he came in a bunch, condensed set, ended up spreading out, doing like 4 seams and dude wide open, So, stuff like that when you familiar with like the Sean Paytons and the Andy Reeves when they got time, how they understand how to attack the scheme and how to put them in certain situations based on certain formations to massage what they want defensively, but to me, the beauty of the work was that quarterback, man. He played light out. He was looking like, he was making great decisions. Balls was coming out of his hands quick, going to second and third read. They was getting that stuff done. I was like, wow. And he wasn't even the original starter at the beginning of the season.
And a guy who didn't play well the week before.
Right. That's what he didn't play well the whole season. From what I understand, like I said, he was at the bottom of the rankings in the SEC. And the way he played, I was like, who is that? I was like, golly. He was like on point, getting it done.
That's what's great about college football. It's on any given Saturday. It's 11 bowl games in a year in a regular season, Yeah.
Well, let's face it. I don't think that's that true, Double A. Like, we're not expecting Alabama to drop it. Jason called that game, so beautiful call by you, Jason. But at the same time, it's not really any given Saturday because, usually we're like, here's my 4 teams, and we're arguing about who the 4 should be because they'll all finish out undefeated. You know what I mean? The 6 teams we're talking about going to finish undefeated.
Well, in the middle, though. At the top, yeah. But in the middle.
Oh, yeah. But that's not who we're discussing ever.
Yeah, but I don't. I know this game here, going into this game, seeing it, because I saw A&M play Arkansas. And Arkansas just ran them off the field. They're in the speed that Arkansas was displaying. I was like, man, they seem so much faster than A&M. I was like, man, A&M, I was like, man, this Alabama's just gonna blow them out. Right. So I'm looking at the game. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a game. And I was shocked, that it was a game because what I saw, Texas A&M, how they showed that wasn't the same team that showed up to play Arkansas. That team against Bama was, like I said, they was, like you talked about K-Lou, they was getting pressure without blitzing. They was physical. I mean, that offensive line has 2 true freshmen on there, and they kept the quarterback clean majority of the night, other than that one when he threw the ball, but they didn't even give up a sack, you know? So, I mean, I was like, wow. So they look like a totally different team because I was like, it ain't going to be no contest. Bama's about to blow them out because really when you start talking about prediction for the college football Final Four, right? It was like, to me, like last week, the subject was, in my mind, was like, it's a 2-team race, Alabama, Georgia. Everybody else has got a question mark to them. You know, even Georgia got a question mark because can they keep winning on offense or keep winning just running the ball on offense and on defense? But to me, those 2 teams seem head and shoulders of everybody else, and to get the next the 2 was us in coin toss because Oregon lost, Ohio State lost, you know what I'm saying? Now Penn State lost. I mean, it was no dominant other team out there, and Alabama just seemed like they was head and shoulder over everybody because they had an offense, they had a defense, and all that stuff.
Would you say, and I'm going to, this is going to be a little bit of a knock on Clemson, so you'll see how impartial I am. Would you say that after seeing Clemson's struggles, maybe Georgia ain't that good? Right? I mean, they have not played anybody good. They have not played a good team. We can't say that they have officially. So, Alabama, but I'll be honest, Georgia will probably lose to Florida, I think. Seeing how Florida played Alabama and knowing that Alabama is better than the loss last night. I mean, they still put up 38 or night before last. Maybe Georgia ain't what we thought they were. Because if you really remember, it was really the win over Clemson that had everybody looking at them. You know what I mean? And they haven't played anybody since. So who's to say they're not going to have an A&M game coming up, and then they're not even talked about?
Wow,
Jason. Go ahead, Caleb.
So it's amazing what Jason just said, right? And so putting that in the context, he's just eliminated the SEC and giving it to the Big Ten East.
Hey, you forgot the other undefeated team.
Just did.
Yeah, you forgot the other undefeated team in the SEC. You got Kentucky sitting there.
Put me on the playoff committee.
I mean, you just destroyed the SEC. If Florida beats Georgia, it blows up that entire situation, and it makes this conversation. It's crazy, but here we go. Ohio State done snuck back up to the top. You got Penn State. Penn State, that game should go in as a tie, losing to Iowa on the road by 3. Like, that's not a loss. You know what I'm saying? And then Iowa playing out of their mind. Man, this is crazy. The Big Ten. You got Michigan undefeated.
And Michigan State.
Yeah, and Michigan State. Yeah, so it's crazy. We came into this season after Georgia started displaying what they did, saying the SEC unbeatable, as MB just said, behind the Alabama banner. Now Alabama goes down. We're talking about Florida's beating Georgia. We're talking about Alabama maybe facing who in the SEC championship, because they still, if they win out, they're in, because Georgia's on the other side.
They dropped one more though. Even if it's the SEC title game. Now remember, they got in not even playing in the championship game before. So
correct.
We'll get in if there's a sliver. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll be honest. I will bet you money. I would be willing to bet Iowa could go undefeated and all other things stay the same. They put a 1-loss Alabama in over Iowa. I know Iowa's current rankings may make that not happen, but
yeah, I don't think that could happen.
Yeah, and because when you look at the 4, right? I mean, you look at right now, you got Georgia number 1, you got Iowa number 2, right? What, OU 3, and who's 4?
No, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
You got this Cincinnati
3.
Wild card in there. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, your top 4. Yeah, Cincinnati beat Notre Dame, and they got the easiest path now to it.
What if we see Iowa and Cincinnati in the Final Four?
No.
But I don't think it will happen because Cincinnati's schedule sucks from this point on.
Right. So Cincinnati.
So they're going to fall by way of bad schedule.
Their best win is Notre Dame, and we're seeing what Notre Dame is this year.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Go ahead.
They're 5-1.
Who?
But USC might get them. Michigan might get them, but that won't be that big of a hurt.
You say what now?
Michigan or USC? That's Notre Dame. That's their two big ones remaining, right?
Right.
Usually. Yeah.
I mean,
I've been
up for that game.
I've been impressed, I have to say, by both Michigan and Michigan State. I see either one of them beating Ohio State this year.
Ooh.
I think this is the year it lines up for it.
Yeah, Jason, USC and Stanford are the only two left on Notre Dame's schedule that could beat them. And really, I'll say more Stanford than USC.
I thought they played Michigan every year.
No.
Not anymore.
Oh, they used to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then USC can beat them as well, Caleb, because USC got an offense now. I mean, Notre Dame defense is not as strong as it was in the past. I mean, the secondary, the free safety they got is pretty good, but the front seven's got some question marks. So USC, I add them, man. You're right, Stanford. I mean, depends on what Stanford team shows up. You know, I mean, they getting it done. They shot what they beat Oregon, and they
does Notre Dame go to an
UCLA.
Does Notre Dame go to an AC? Does Notre Dame play in an ACC title game?
No.
Right? They don't have to. They don't have an ACC.
No.
They did.
Hey, so MB, just to throw this out there. Stanford. Dang, this SC at USC. This is weird because I thought it was saying no. I thought it was saying they beat SC already. Stanford did.
No. Well, no, they might have.
Yeah, they beat
early in the year.
USC.
Yeah.
Right. That's why they fired the coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. They beat them 42-28.
You mean
they
kept
fired
Urban
the coach.
Meyer's seat warm?
Huh?
You mean when they started warming up Urban Meyer's chair?
So, Caleb, you was bringing up a point. What was your point?
No, I'm just saying that to say, SC, Stanford probably has a better chance of beating them still. They like you said, they have dropped too. However, David Shaw plays a pro-style offense. That's kind of what can't think of his name. Notre Dame's coach, not Chip Kelly, but others Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
He plays a similar style, so it's kind of like an evenly matched game. And I mean, I just think when we've seen David Shaw be able to just like go into evenly matched games, it seems like he finds a way to win them.
Yeah, no doubt. And I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, you look at the way they beat Oregon. That was I mean, it didn't say evenly match on paper heading to that game, but I mean, with David Shaw and the stuff he does and how they play, I mean, you always got a chance and they end up beating them. Yeah. So I agree.
He actually put a fire extinguisher on Cristobal because I mean he was walking on water up until that point.
Yeah, that was surprising. That was last week.
An NFL job. He was leaving for an NFL job mid-season.
Well, but remember he was leaving with luck too. So they've been talking about him leaving for a while.
Oh no! I'm talking about.
No, you're talking about Cristobal.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to beat Cristobal so that he'd come back to Miami.
Cristobal ain't coming back to Miami.
I know that.
Hey,
speaking of which, there was a lot of chatter. Seemed like, and I don't know where I got it from. I was reading something, but during that Miami game, they started mentioning they wanted someone fired, so Orgeron at LSU said
the Raging Cajun.
LSU's threatening to fire, the chatter, the booster club. And you know how that goes. They usually go with the booster club, but they're talking about firing Orgeron and Miami. A few Miami folks started saying, please do so he can come on back home. What do you feel about that, MB?
Oh, I mean, I love Orgeron, the Raging Cajun, baby. I mean, he understands how to win. I mean, he was as far as he was at USC as a coach at USC, not head coach, but coach. So he understands how to win as far as getting the recruiting, because like you guys brought up, I mean, recruiting is a big part of it. He understands the culture, but you know, I hate talking about another man's job where he still got the job. So as far as Manny's still the coach, but Orgeron, I think, you know, definitely
he was your coordinator, right?
No, he wasn't my coordinator.
No.
No, he was already, when I was at Miami, he was a D-line coach.
He was a D-line coach. That's right.
Yeah.
You gonna be his interpreter, MB?
Huh?
You gonna be his interpreter? He comes to Miami.
Not good.
Play the football, man. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Hey, they understand him here.
But here's the thing, though. So here's the thing. He understands how to develop players because when he was at USC, he was a big part. I think he was a recruiting coordinator. He understands how to get those guys, identify the talent. Like I said before when we had our discussions, it's not just about 5 stars. It's about, can you recruit ballers? Can you identify ballers? And everywhere he's been, this guy's got a good eye for talent, and he knows how to get ballers. He knows how to recruit. So,
express lanes.
So that's what I like.
Your room dog say Michael Barrow for the head coach of the University of Coral Gables, baby.
Only if you become a receiver coach, LT. Let's do it, baby.
Hey, is that a good
UM coaching staff?
Is that a launching pad to the big one?
You finally listening to me, MB. I've been saying that for quite some time.
It would only make too much sense down there. You're asking for rationale.
Listen, and look at the trend right now. That's saying something. You know, the trend is getting guys like MB's caliber, putting them in that position, them bringing some more guys of their same caliber, and them running the show. I mean, that's where we are right now. So why not one of the schools that could say they got the most of them? Why aren't they thinking that way? It's crazy to me.
That was the craziest stat when Run CMC brought that up a couple of weeks ago about the 5 stars and the premiums. I looked it up. Miami had the most active NFL players as of 2015 in the NFL at 45. Saban 6 years later is at 74. That's insane.
That's what I'm saying. Look, hey, the interstate will take everybody to the same place, but there's an express lane for a reason.
Yeah, but it ain't because they be windows up
right by it.
Keep on developing.
Yeah. Hey, it's going down to throw that change out or get your cash ready.
Hey, what is it? Sun Pass?
So you saying because they're 5-star there, or because they're 5-star and they can play, and he does a great job developing?
No, let's face it, MP. He makes a ton of mistakes, but if you make a mistake with a 5-star, it's not as bad as you making one with a 3. And everybody you brought in was 5s. So you made a mistake with 5 of them. Well, you still got a class of 18. So 13 of them were good.
It's a lot harder to get in trouble in Tuscaloosa than it is in Coral Gables.
Yeah, but it's still. But also, you look at the NFL, right? The 5-star. I did a research. 5-star players, right? It's hit or miss. It's like 50% of 5-star players maybe do well the high end, but 50% of them not even get drafted in the first round. You know.
But we don't care about that. We talking straight college.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Well, people play. It should all be based on recruiting, right? So as soon as they recruit, come out with who's got the top 4 recruiting class, bypass the season, go straight to college football playoff.
That's right.
Usually can.
The best rumor I heard, K-Lou, so far is that Alonzo Highsmith might be the new AD.
Wow.
There now you're bringing in Ozzie. Now you're bringing in Ozzie Newsome.
I tell you what. Hey, you buying your time if you in any coaching position there, right? If Zoe get in.
You say you buying your time?
Meaning like TikTok, you out of there.
Oh yeah.
TikTok, it's over with.
Zoe passionate, man.
Yeah.
Zoe passionate.
And he's going to bring in somebody that understands what MB keeps talking about.
That's where it started.
That's no longer there.
That's please. That's why we having this conversation in the sense of, you're right, on the field it's not there, right? Because we want to win championship. But whoever the key people calling the shots, or the alumni understands the standard. That's why we having this conversation about him being his third year about, okay, is he going to make it or not? Talking about firing him because everybody's trying to get it back to the standard. Everybody's trying to get it back.
I don't think I will argue that administration's not doing that. Huh? I will argue that administration ain't on that same page.
Yeah, well, you said what?
You don't think they're trying to get back to the glory days?
No,
yeah, that's what is that what you said?
Absolutely. I would say that because why aren't they reaching out to people who know what that means?
Ego. Hey, ego. Really? I mean, if you think about it, it's got to be intimidating to bring in, because at the administration level, okay, have they ever, has anyone there now reached the levels that say an MB has?
No. And the funny part is they went and begged the guy that was out the door to get a job at Ball State or somewhere to please coach us. That's what happened. So how's that the standard?
Well,
who you say? Who's that ball? Who you talking about?
Where was he going?
Rutgers, I think.
Temple.
Temple. Ball State. He was on his way to Ball State. Jason. And they said, no, don't go. It's like the little brother holding your leg and you like trying to kick him off.
They thought he was gonna keep the recruiting class because he supposedly led that defense under Rick. They didn't know.
So you mean to tell me he was scared to lose people? They were scared that people were gonna transfer from Miami to Temple.
No, bro. Because what happened was he ended up leaving Miami, ended up signing with Temple, right? And then Rick, from what I ended up just resigning
right
after the fact, right? And then now, so they was like, okay, what are we gonna do? They ended up got him. I didn't have a true. I mean,
that's insane.
You said what?
That's insane because we've heard that Rick got forced out, but you didn't have a plan. That's all you exposing right now. Like you didn't have. You want him gone for nobody because it wasn't like Manny hid that he was out going to interviews. You know what I'm saying?
No, they knew. That's what I'm saying. Though. So he was gone. He already signed with Temple.
Right, but I'm saying even prior, it wasn't a secret that he wanted a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm saying like how normal people work at that. That's why I said I don't believe your administration is on the same page as you. I said that. This is why.
Let's be clear. But what Blake James is not Sam Jankovic. Okay, but you have to understand, Sam Jankovic to this day, may he rest in peace, had signed the greatest NFL contract that anyone ever signed. You know that story? When he went to the Patriots after Miami.
Nobody beats Albert Hainsworth. That he stole money. No,
he didn't steal. We can have that argument any day.
When they fired him, they had to pay him for eternity.
They were idiots too at Washington.
This was early 90s.
Albert Hainsworth went into the building.
He was the owner of the Patriots before Kraft. I forget the guy's name. But he signed Jankovic to a lifelong contract. So when he fired him, he said, as long as you don't take another job, I got to pay him for life.
That was him? I didn't know that was him.
Remember, it's Jimmy that hired Jimmy Johnson. I mean, it was Sam Jankovic that hired Jimmy Johnson. That took foresight.
Jason, that was him.
Jason, just imagine Warren Sapp playing two-gap nose. That's what they made Albert do.
but I don't think he was really on the
Albert was a monster when he was playing the run on his way to the quarterback. He was 2-3 years consecutive leading interior D lineman at sacks. He was uncontrollable, period. But then you tell him to take two. Oh, he ain't built like that.
But right quick, so Kevin, remember that famous point you told me? If you could die, you want to come back as a first-round pick.
First-round pick, baby.
And that's due to the ego of front office, head office personnel, right?
Okay.
Right? The ego of nobody wants to admit being wrong or nobody wants to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. General manager position. Yes.
Would you say that there can truly be no other reason why the U does not have an MB there is because the administration does not want to yield.
I'm with you.
To someone that is going to have more credibility in the room, or will take more credit for the success, or anything. It's got to be ego at this point, because who could they not get? If we're being honest, who could they not get?
I mean, they've been doing it for quite some time, though. I think that's why my argument with MB is I don't believe they on the same page as him and his alumni.
How do you put them on the same page? A billboard on 95? What do you? I mean,
listen. Whatever they've been doing during this time hasn't worked, so I guess you'd go that route.
They're cheap. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the answer. You're asking for rationale. They're not. You're asking for rationale. They're not going to pay state of Florida. You know, who's the highest paid employee in the state of Florida or state of Alabama? You know?
Right.
They're not going to do that.
But okay. Well, how much is Manny Rodriguez's contract, and then how much would?
He's got $8 million left, but the second they fire him, it's done because they've already, the way they worded it, they can get out of it.
The crummy, the not real USC, the Gamecocks in South Carolina, they paid Muschamp, and I know we don't have more money than Florida. I don't even like saying we. I want to throw up, but I'm just saying like that
more than Miami. Miami's private.
But Miami's different, private school, and then the boosters just aren't. I mean. We don't hear about that.
That's wild.
Boosters, like,
what would they like? Because his contract cannot be that much bigger, or cannot be that much smaller, I should say, than who they would have to get. I mean, the highest paid coach in college is what? Nick, then Jimbo, then Saban. But like, they're all millions. None of them are making big money. You know what I mean? So what? 3 instead of 6. Michael Irvin could shake out the coin tray in his Rolls Royce and bring in somebody. So what are we missing?
But I think that's just the issue. You don't see that kind of backing from Miami's football program. It's weird. Miami, you know what, MB? I think I look at now. It's like the state of Florida high school football, best in the country, right? But if you go through it, it actually is terrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean? Say that part.
Like anybody can coach it. Like nobody really puts anything behind it and makes it look like a state-of-the-art type of situation, but you keep producing studs. You see what I'm saying? So Miami still's producing guys that are going to the NFL and playing well and doing well, but they don't have the top program fanfare behind it like, you know, Alabama or Texas, who hasn't even won anywhere close to them. But it's embarrassing to look at.
It's almost like you talking about a few weeks ago that was a tourist destination and not a college program. It's almost like somebody said that on this show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It feels like that, and I just don't think it has to be. I don't get it.
Even when you go back to the Jimmy days, they're the enemy, and Mike will tell you this, the team's enemy was the administration. The administration was always trying to, you know, crack down on the behavior and everything. So it wasn't just them against the world, it was internally as well.
And that's what I felt like with Randy Shannon. I felt like he was brought there to look like to clean up a program or make it look the way the administration wanted it to look, instead of it being who we all wanted it to be. It was like, and then it's like, okay, you can't do. We want you to do that and continue to win the way you won. It's like, what? You crazy? Like, you won't even let these kids in.
You'll never know what would have happened if Butch would have stayed. And that's the scary thing about it, you know.
Right.
And he's 20 years.
Who was the coach in 2015?
Don't matter.
Well, I'm saying whoever it was then, that should have been the turnaround, in my opinion, because that's when y'all lost 70-0 that year. That should never happen in Miami.
Rick started out 10-0 and pulled his starting quarterback out of a game, which to this day I'll never understand, against Pittsburgh. Before they played your Clemson team.
But they lost that game, right? They were losing.
They lost to Pittsburgh. They were 10-0 going into that game, and he pulled a kid who was as a starter. 10-0.
Oh, was it like discipline, like before the game?
No, just performance.
Before the game or in the game?
During the game.
Well, they were down, weren't they? I mean, from what I remember, they were down start to finish in that game.
He got you to 10-0. That's all I know.
Enough said, Double A.
You know, not too many guys go on a run like that.
Was that nerves though? Like maybe he thought, "Hey, we can't." Oh, it was Al Golden. It looks like in 2015.
Yeah.
And that's when they started bringing all them Pennsylvania linebackers, baby.
That defense. Hey! I forget who that guy was. We're going to reinvent the defense.
I looked at that roster. I was like, oh, my goodness. What?
Well, it's a Miami Hurricane show.
Hey, I'm yelling at
LB. I know, right?
You better take two of them receivers and make them play linebacker.
The coach got in trouble today with Derek King. He said Derek King's out for the year. He opted for shoulder surgery. Derek King tweeted back, opted.
He did what?
Hold on, man.
He tweeted, opted.
Please tell me he's getting to come back for his 10th year.
No,
he can if he wants to.
Oh man!
Hey, right quick.
He has to listen. I ain't even clowning now. That's 7 years.
They got a punter's 28 years old.
But hey, I'm gonna call another A&M Bama. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Kentucky beats Georgia this weekend.
It's possible.
It wouldn't shock me because Georgia always struggles with Kentucky. Anyway, when they've been a way worse team and upset Georgia, so that's not a shock.
That might not be such a shocking pick. Then.
Where's that game at?
Shocking.
Where's that
Is
game
it in
at?
Kentucky or Georgia? I don't think it matters with Kentucky. I'm gonna be honest with you. As far as I think they're the real deal. I don't think they're gonna beat Georgia just because I think Georgia they won't move away from ground and pound, and Kentucky is playing the same way. I don't think you can beat them at that game.
It's in Georgia. It's the 3:30 game.
Yeah, but I don't think. But I think Kentucky's got the opportunity to pass the ball if they need to. I've seen some of that from Kentucky this year.
Okay,
I think if you make Georgia one-dimensional, that kid don't look like.
I think they already one-dimensional.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one heck of a.
That kid ain't throwing. He ain't throwing to catch up. That's for sure.
I mean, I don't know.
Hey, Kirby playing just like Nick, the old Nick, baby.
It might not be as big of an upset as Duke at Virginia, but I just figured I
would. Hey, we gonna smile.
Is that Virginia homecoming game?
Back, baby.
Is that Virginia homecoming game?
I can't rag on Duke because I don't even know if Miami will beat them at this point.
I told MB put them on the schedule twice. I told MB and Jason we want Clemson twice and Miami twice.
No, you don't.
We do.
Let those graduate in peace.
Check this out. Who would have predicted this? The only the two top teams in the ACC right now is Wake Forest, right, and North Carolina State.
And Wake just
those are the two highest rated teams.
Yep.
For now.
FSU.
I don't think this y'all year, man. You called it in the beginning of the year, and I'm gonna stick to it.
What's that?
What?
Jason called it. Basically, he wasn't high on the guy you and I were really high on.
Oh yeah, he wasn't high on him at all.
And then the way you talked about him when they lost to Georgia, nothing else has surprised me since that time. And let's be honest, you're skating through. You're looking like that Clemson team that was making strides. That's what you look like, and you were far and above, that. But it's weird to me watching y'all play.
You know what it is? It's a team of 5 stars making up for a kind of a 3-star. If we're being honest.
Wow.
What you mean making up for?
Because a 3-star, he calling the quarterback a real 3-star that was overrated. That's what he's saying.
Oh man, he 5-star, man. Since he 5-star, he valid.
He's saying they missed on him, MB.
Oh yeah, it ain't 100%.
Well, you can't miss on no 5-star.
It's 90%, but it ain't 100%.
5-star, you 5-star, baby.
Yes, sir. You're right. Except for they still miss. And we call them a 5-star, but they ain't the 5-star we were thinking they was.
Nah, man. No. Don't
hey, did we
change
take
up,
the stars back?
Running
Can
back
you take the
5-star,
stars back?
everybody 5-star.
No.
Like on that Cracker Barrel smart, you know what I mean? When Deborah
you can't do that,
you
Jay.
can't reach up and pull the star back.
No, you can't get
only
it
Reggie.
back.
Only Reggie
man.
Bush had his stuff taken away.
Oh. And DJ getting paid legitimately, and Reggie's like, "Can I have it back now?" Like,
right.
all I got was some rent in a rental house.
Yeah,
like
I mean, the excitement that they showed, and I forget, it wasn't last week's game, the week before, after sneaking out of that.
College?
Yeah,
Boston College.
Yeah, that's who it was. I knew then. I was like, "Oh my goodness, man!" Like they celebrating on the sideline, like. Yeah, I'm like, whoa. Okay.
No. You know what? That was not celebrating.
And then Dabo
relief.
Hey, then Dabo was saying how I knew my team. We got a bunch of winners. You know, they fighters, and I'm like, dang, Dabo, were we at the same game?
Battle through adversity. That's what he said.
Right.
What was that adversity? Our starting quarterback.
It always come back to DJ, baby.
He don't like that DJ, man.
I'm sure he's a great kid, but he ain't making the
I like DJ. I think DJ needs some help, man.
There it is, we done said that the whole time.
The team that was picked was Carolina.
When Shipley coming back, Jason?
When that 5-star coming back.
We'll see him. Hey, we'll line him up back there. Get a little bit, probably have more production.
Yeah, run the Wildcat.
That kid behind him can throw. God, if they would put him on the field.
Be careful what you ask for, baby. Well, hey, I don't know. I don't know because I was like, when Oklahoma made that move, I was like, wow, that dude. I was like, why ain't make that move early? That dude can play. Caleb Williams from Oklahoma, that freshman, he's a problem. Good Lord.
I mean, what
they made that move? They allegedly got a first day top 5 pick at quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
That keeps proving to us that he's not.
That's what I'm saying. That dude, Spencer Rattler, I mean, he lost a lot of money because he was Heisman candidate, all that stuff. But that young kid came in, and it was like, that's why I say Lincoln Riley. I mean, just the fact for him to make that move was good. I mean, but I mean, that young kid played like so confident. I mean, he had like he been there all the time. He wasn't shaking at all. I mean, he came in making stuff happen because initially I thought he was just a runner. But then when he started throwing the ball, I was like, whoa, this dude know where to put the ball, and he got a strong arm. He's a playmaker, man.
And remember, I said,
so maybe that's what you're saying. Okay, I never seen him before, but if you want him,
you're gonna get him.
I have seen that kid throw. I'm telling you, that kid can throw. That kid, he has a quick release like Tom Brady. That's kind of what strikes me about him. I mean, it's just there. He makes a decision and it gets there. So the mechanics are absolutely there, and the arm strength is there. You know, what are we gonna do? Get more 3 and outs? We already got those. So
right. No doubt, man. No doubt. We're talking about 3 and out. K. Louis, he just got out. And we about to get out too, baby. Y'all spending show talking about Miami, and I ain't even say nothing. I'm being quiet over here. But hey, I just want to listen, see what y'all say. But you know what? When we talk about listing coaches in Miami, we got some. You talk about Mario Cristobal, Bush Davis. I mean, if they make a move, Rod Szynski, Bernard Clark, it's some guys out there, you know. So
get Chud down there.
That's what I'm saying, Chud.
They would love to have Chud calling plays on that offense.
Yeah, so you got some candidates if they do make that move, you know. If they do go that way, you definitely want to keep it with the UM. It's no different than my Giants, man. That right now the Giants, they're not where they want to be, but the Giants are committed on winning, you know. So
Mike Glennon can play.
Huh?
You watch. Mike Glennon can play.
Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon can play.
Yeah.
He's never had a shot. He had 1 year in Tampa and got ran out. He had a quarter of a year in Chicago, and then he's been backing up ever since. He's better than Geno Smith, and you saw what Sitton did for Geno Smith. So I think who they got this week. Who's the Giants playing?
I don't know who they playing. I don't know.
While you're looking up that, I'm tripping out on that. FSU beat Carolina, and Miami's about to play Carolina.
Yeah.
Let's see.
FSU beat them, man. That's what I'm saying. Is that ACC division? I mean, it's
a wild west.
Yeah.
So
do you find out who the Giants play?
Let's see. It says I'm trying to pull it up. It's not loading.
I know Daniel Jones got hurt with the concussion.
Never mind. Los Angeles. Anyway, but he's gonna play.
Which one? Chargers or the Rams?
It don't matter.
Rams. But after that, let's see. They got a bye in week 8, and then week 7.
Oh,
Carolina, they're gonna lose again.
Urban Meyer's gonna get his first win this week. He's playing the Dolphins in London.
Oh wow. The Mullets.
Unless he's got a bar there.
I guarantee you'll be on that plane ride home.
Hey, can we talk about, though, it wasn't just that he got pictured. I mean, what's he, I know he likes the pistol offense, but man, that picture, there's no time in recent memory that you can say outside of, who's that? Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's the only other coach I'd ever expect to get caught in a situation like that. Can you think of one? Ever?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in professional.
You actually have some interesting games next week. You got Chargers versus the Ravens and Cardinals Browns.
Ooh,
Cardinal Brown.
Yeah, 2 very good games. And Bills Titans on Monday night. You'll find out if Tennessee's for real or not. I think Tennessee losing the Art Smith, the head coach for Atlanta. I think Tannehill losing that guy was a big loss for him. Calling plays.
Mm-hmm. Could be another little situation there where what's his name when he left? It seems like all the talent kind of dropped, all the success dropped off. Carson Wentz with Frank Reich.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Remember, Carson Wentz was the next big thing. I mean, what's that dude on Fox Sports? The guy that's right like 5% of the Colin Cowherd. Carson Wentz, best thing he'd ever seen. Boy, that went out the window, and now he's back. He's back with the coach, and it ain't there. So I think that head coach was the secret in Philadelphia that year.
Yeah. Then Carson, he's been hurt and stuff too, so that plays a big part of it as well.
I think you'll see the real Baltimore team tonight. So
yeah, Baltimore and the Colts. So
they got the
I'm
Colts.
going with Baltimore.
Yeah.
That Colts defense is good, but I'm going with Baltimore.
Is Carson playing?
Yeah.
Okay. Baltimore.
I think so, right?
I'm pretty sure he is.
I pick Baltimore if Carson's playing.
That's not
leave it on that.
Man, you out of control, man.
Oh man.
All right, fellas.
All right, Dabo on 3.
Coming on, man. We'll see you on Friday, man. From Sideline to Baseline, we are out, man. Peace.
5 stars.
Later.